Well, so I entered the Absolute, and my first match was Kainan Duarte, who's just won the over 99 kilo division. So I thought, okay, this will be fun. I'll give it a go.
ADCC 2019, Absolute Division. Lachlan Giles, smaller than almost everyone in the bracket, just heel hooked his third elite heavyweight in a row. Inside heel hooks against world champions. Opponents who knew it was coming and still couldn't stop it. That weekend proved something the sport could no longer deny. Size alone doesn't save you from leg locks anymore. But that moment didn't appear out of nowhere. It was the result of years of pressure building. New ideas, new systems, competition proof, and athletes willing to ignore tradition. This is the story of how leg locks went from controversial to unavoidable. For a long time, sport jiu-jitsu lived by a simple formula. Pass guard, control position, take the back, attack the upper body. Leg locks existed, but culturally they weren't trusted, partly because of rules, partly because of injury risk, but mostly because they didn't fit the identity of sport BJJ at the time. The problem wasn't that leg locks didn't work, it's that jiu-jitsu didn't want them to. Then a few grapplers stopped asking permission. If you're looking for one of the earliest turning points, you start with Dean Lister. Lister attacked legs at the highest level, when most elite BJJ competitors simply didn't. He won ADCC Absolute in 2003. He won ADCC Gold again in 2011, submitting world-class black belts with heel hooks. He forced elite BJJ to confront something uncomfortable. Leg locks weren't shortcuts, they were real submissions against real champions. And one idea became legendary. During an early visit to Renzo Gracie Academy, Lister talked leg locks with John Danaher. The story is often told around one question: why ignore 50% of the human body? Whether those were the exact words or not, the impact was real. Attack everything. Don't let tradition limit effectiveness. But ideas alone don't change sports. Systems do.
Renzo would teach leg locks, but it was taught in always the same fashion that everyone else did. Here's a move, here's a heel hook, here's an Achilles lock. So the moves themselves were known, but they weren't emphasized. A very, very influential figure in my life, a great American grappler called Dean Lister.
Danaher didn't discover leg locks when DDS became famous. He'd been studying them for years, influenced in part by Lister, long before his athletes shocked the world. What Danaher did differently was structure. He turned scattered techniques into a complete positional system. Control first, isolation second, breaking mechanics last. Leg locks stopped being opportunistic. They became positional warfare. He created hierarchy, consistency, teachability, not for one specialist, but for an entire room of elite athletes. And once a system exists, competition decides whether it works. Eddie Cummings was the first DDS athlete to apply the modern heel hook system against elite competition. Quiet, precise, terrifyingly efficient. During the EBI era, Eddie heel hooked high-level opponents repeatedly, winning titles in 2015 and 2016. And this was the turning point. Because once elite grapplers start losing to something over and over, they stop calling it cheap. They start studying it. But the real shift came when leg locks stopped being a specialist weapon and became part of total domination. Gordon Ryan didn't invent leg locks. What he proved was that leg lock systems could work as part of complete, overwhelming grappling at the highest level in the world. By ADCC 2017 and 2019, Gordon wasn't just leg locking people. He was using leg threats to force reactions, to open guard passes, to expose the back, to control matches psychologically. Opponents had to respect his legs, which opened everything else. This is when leg locks stopped being a style. They became a requirement. But there was still one question. What if you weren't Gordon? What if you couldn't impose that level of physical dominance? That answer came in one of the most shocking weekends in grappling history.
Rolling really well in the gym. I was hitting so many leg locks, and I was really disappointed that in my weight division I wasn't able to get to the legs, because I knew if I got there I had a high chance of finishing. So then Mo said yesterday, he said you should enter the open weight, got more chance of getting an invite next time. I said all right.
ADCC 2019. Lachlan Giles, fresh off a loss in his weight division, entered the absolute. To the heavyweights, he looked like the easiest match in the bracket. While many systems emphasised dominant entanglements like saddle and inside position, Lachlan weaponised 50-50, a position many still treated as neutral. Using inside heel hooks from 50-50, he submitted elite heavyweights, including Kaynan Duarte and Muhammad Ali. This changed everything, because it proved something bigger than technique. Leg lock systems weren't just for physical outliers, they worked for anyone who understood the positions deeply enough. For many watching, this was the moment the sport accepted reality. You don't get to opt out of leg locks anymore. Even after ADCC 2019, after all the competition proof, some still refuse to believe. Brazilian legend Vinny Magalhaes was one of them. He'd famously said, leg locks don't work. He'd resisted heel hook attempts from elite competitors before. April 2020, Submission Underground. He faced Craig Jones. Jones locked in an inside heel hook. Vinny refused to tap. His foot turned 180 degrees. His fibula fractured in a spiral break. Jones could see bone poking through the skin. After this era, the meta shifted permanently. Passing stances changed. 50-50 became a weapon, not a stall. Wrestlers had to respect leg entries. No-gi strategy evolved, and instructors like Jones helped spread the knowledge globally, making techniques that once felt specialized accessible to everyday grapplers through seminars and online instruction. Even gi players started cross-training leg defense. From Lister pushing the idea in the early 2000s, to Danaher building the system, to Eddie, Gordon and Lachlan proving it worked at every level. And today, they're not going anywhere. But here's the question that never fully disappeared. Are leg locks actually more dangerous than other submissions? The data says yes. Heel hooks cause significantly more injuries than other submissions. But most injuries happen when grapplers don't understand them, when they resist too long, when they don't recognize they're caught. The risk isn't just the technique, it's ignorance. Because if you don't know leg locks today, you're not competing in modern jiu-jitsu. You're competing in the version that got left behind.